This is Jurassic World, the Legacy of Isla Nublar. In this game, you're going to be working together to build and run your very own Jurassic Park over the course of 12 games. You're going to be creating road networks, building electric barriers which are surely never going to break, and dealing with all of the completely unforeseen problems that come with splicing dinosaur DNA to create terrifying genetic abominations. The components here are delightful, with thick cards of excellent quality and vibrant colours throughout. There are a number of dinosaur minis that are sculpted in really dynamic ways, reminiscent of memorable scenes from the Jurassic Park lineage of movies. You also have and will unlock tons of characters, all with their own special abilities and scratch-off advancements. The board is generously proportioned, which is to say bloomin' huge, but is beautifully presented with this sort of 1920s grand adventure aesthetic, which is genuinely charming. There are a ton of other tokens and bits that are all solid punchboard. Being a legacy game, there are loads of secret things to unlock, stick on, or better still, scratch off. And this is all tremendously exciting, like it's 1996 and you've just bought your first scratch card from the local co-op. The art design in general is absolutely magic, with dinosaur boards looking like Hammer horror movie posters, and your game-to-game legacy adventure rules looking like Golden Age era comics. It's all wonderful stuff. The Legacy of Isla Nublar is a cooperative legacy game in the same vein as something like Eldritch Horror or Pandemic, whereby you as the players have a set number of actions that you can perform before the bad things happen. And in this game, the bad things are dinosaurs breaking out and running amok, running rampant on the park, on each other, and possibly on you. Actions in this game take the form of moving around the board, herding dinosaurs to help control them, leading your various guests around the park, and performing various tasks in the buildings of the game, such as the lab, the welcome centre, or the maintenance shed. These building actions all take the form of sort of mini-games, which are really cleverly designed time sinks which stretch your action economy to the absolute limit, which hits that sweet spot between exciting and really stressful. Like many other cooperative games, there are a couple of ways to lose the game, but only one way to win. You must complete all of your objectives for your current adventure before the last round of the game ends. If you don't achieve all of your goals, you'll lose. And if during the game you rack up too many consequences as a result of failing your round-to-round tasks or letting the dinosaurs hunt each other to a second extinction, you'll also lose. In neither case though, the game just progresses and will adjust based on your result, typically skewing slightly easier if you lost your last game or slightly more difficult if you won it. The idea of falling forward is a much more preferable design choice to me than something like Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which just makes you grind it out until you succeed. The legacy systems in this game are very involved, and you'll spend a significant amount of time at the start and end of each game completing various tasks on your folio, which tracks your decisions and resources. I'd consider this an intrinsic part of the game experience, as there's a ton of interesting decisions to be made and plenty of discussion to be had about what to unlock, what to scratch off, and what to permanently add to your ever-evolving park. The Legacy of Isla Nublar does a wonderful job of respecting the IP that it's based on and gives a real sense of adventure, like you're some sort of collective John Hammond getting everything in place and being really excited about opening your Jurassic Park to the world, before everything goes utterly pear-shaped and you're hiding in the maintenance shed desperately trying not to get eaten by the rampaging T-Rex. How the theme interacts with the mechanisms of the game is, to be honest, a bit abstract, but the cooperative framework here works really well and the art design is certainly strong enough to compensate. Despite the highly inviting nature of the art and the IP, the Legacy of Isla Nublar is a surprisingly weighty prospect. There are numerous systems at work here that you need to know in order to succeed. The basics of the game are reasonably simple, you have a few action points to do stuff, and then you'll have a resolution phase. However, there's plenty of layers on top of this, such as the different minigame rules, the adventure by adventure special rules, the objectives, the dinosaur special rules, all of the legacy stuff. It all adds up. It's not completely overbearing, but it's certainly above the middle of the weight scale. And with the rules split across a few different places, it can sometimes take a while to get the answer you need when you're not sure how something interacts. We love how this game gives you the feeling of building your very own Jurassic Park through its legacy mechanisms, and how the foundation of the game is actually really sound and satisfying. It has you rushing from point to point, having detailed and in-depth discussions as you try to work out how on earth you're going to achieve everything you need to do in time. The surprises this game throws at you are exciting, but can also make you throw your hands up in horror, as events might see the new park CEO suddenly decide he wants a private tour of the most dangerous thing you have, right as the power goes out. It's equal parts hilarious and exasperating, but it's also great fun. Isla Nublar will play up to 4 players, however in our experience it shines best at 2 or 3. There are a lot of decisions to be made here, and more voices might detract from that process. With 4 players also, you get slightly less actions each, which might make each individual player feel less impactful. At 2 players, however, this is a fantastically rewarding, really cooperative experience. And at 3, you get a little bit more variety with the additional character actions that will be in play. There's a Venn diagram of board gamers, Jurassic Park fans, and people who like medium to heavy, legacy cooperative games. If you're in that bucket, then absolutely this game is going to be right up your strata. It's for people who really enjoy the experience of legacy games, the surprise and joy of unlocking content and making the game your own. If you like that sort of game and you're a Jurassic Park fan, then this is an absolute treat to play. If you're interested in the theme, but you don't necessarily like your games too heavy, or you're not a big fan of legacy games, then maybe think twice before investing. At £90 or your local equivalent, this is an expensive purchase, so it's certainly worth considering how much value you will get out of it. The components are great, absolutely no question, and each of the 12 adventures will give you a good solid 3 hours worth of gameplay, so there's plenty of content here. And as a bonus, unlike many other legacy games, once you finish the 12 adventures, you're going to be left with something that you can actually replay, and there's certainly something to be said for that. We recommend splitting the cost of this one with 1 or at most 2 friends, and if you're all in that Venn diagram of board gaming Jurassic Park fans who like legacy games, then there's absolutely no question about it. Open the door, get on the floor, and walk that dinosaur.